soon as I get in my boat and drop my rudder, we'll take off. Paddle Mo is a 5-day journey down the last 100 miles of the Missouri River, and it's a program that our organization started in partnership with Magnificent Missouri in 2016. It's an educational experience that breaks down the barriers to allow people to connect with the river and experience a multi-day river journey in this last 100 miles of the Missouri River, which is our nation's longest waterway. Each year we try to have one main theme, but within that we have presentations about history, presentations about biology, ecology, the historic towns. The Missouri River has been such an important part of this nation's history. Before it was founded, people were very connected long ago to the river. It was one of the main forms of transportation. They used it as a source of food. But as the years have gone by, a lot of people, we've become disconnected from our rivers. And so this is a way to kind of bring people back to the river that we once used to really depend upon for transportation and other things.
All right.
Do you guys know which campsite you guys were staying at?
We're at a cabin.
At a cabin? Oh, well, okay. You guys are super easy.
So Paddle Mo approached us from the beginning, brought us on as educators in all aspects. They have to have someone that can have training and education to take 100 people down a river like the Missouri River. They had about 40 people in their crew, and Lewis and Clark came up the river, and they just drugged the boat up the river. And they made about average like 10, 12 miles a day. So that's why we're passing 3 stopping points today. Our personal mission with Earth's Classroom is to bring awareness, understanding, appreciation of cultural history and natural history. We can't ignore the human impact on our ecosystems today. They are amazingly intertwined. When Lewis and Clark came up this river, this was not that river, not even close. Today it's a channelized, managed for navigation, for large barges. So I mean, the impact we've had here is just significant.
Okay, I got your number, didn't I?
Yes.
Okay, and I got your 02, number
36 and 39.
36 and 39. The Missouri River has an intimidation for a lot of human beings these days. You look at it from afar, from up on a bridge, up high, you feel that it's swirling, it can swallow you up, and it's something to fear. And when you get on it, it feels very different from that, especially when you start to understand why it's doing what it's doing. For example, the whole floor of the river is nothing but moving sand dunes, and the collapsing of those sand dunes create those boils that people have felt for years are going to be whirlpools that pull you under. But it actually feels like a giant floating, moving lake when you're finally on it.
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Don't let them pick guitars and drive them old trucks. Make them be doctors and lawyers and such.
People get a sense of community when they're on the river with other people, and even though the Missouri River has been changed so dynamically since the 1940s, it still has this wild feeling about it and a very power to it because it's such a huge mass of fresh water flowing underneath us.
I participated in 2019 and 2020 doing 100 miles for over the 5 days. It was my first time tent camping, my first time on a river kayaking. It was a big adventure, and that's what I really wanted in my life. I really enjoyed being a participant. I really liked the staff and the other volunteers. Earth's Classroom, Jody and Bill, they do a great job with education. They keep it very interesting. They're full of what I'd call fun facts. If you want to know something about this bug or this tree, they will tell you about it.
And then we also have a western group of monarchs that overwinter along the...
To tell you the truth, I watched 2 YouTube videos on the way up here, trying to think of, is this going to be okay? But the people were so accommodative, and no matter what the issue was, they're helpful. They'd do anything they could to make the experience positive for you. We've even talked about now, we thought about, well, maybe we could make a longer trip or do the whole, we're just signed up for 3 days, and then, well, maybe we could do the 5-day.
Most of our participants have never been on the Missouri River before, so it really opens up a whole new opportunity for them to get out in nature. And one of the neat things about the Missouri River is it's so wide, you know, and so as you go into St. Louis, you're going into a very urban area. But if you're out in the middle of the Missouri River Channel, you can find a sense of solitude, almost a sense of wilderness and a sense of peace. We hope our paddlers learn about the region, learn about the ecology, but also find maybe this is another way that in the future they can connect with one of our great rivers here in the state.